Hello everybody there in YouTube, it's your boy Josh Shocks and I'm about to get in with another YouTube video. So today I'm going to discuss my top 5 most underrated films of 2014. So I'm also going to mention some few honorable mentions. So let me start it off with number 5. So at number 5 I'm going to have to go with Edge of Tomorrow starring Tom Cruise. This film caught me by surprise. So first I thought the film was probably going to be stupid because Tom Cruise have not been in the best films of lately. So I went in there with a bad. Then I saw it, and it caught me by surprise. So the film is pretty much based on a Japanese light novel. Uh, so pretty much he's a military officer. He gets sent to war to fight like an alien invasion on Earth. It's like in the near future Earth, assuming. And they pretty much he pretty much lived the same day over and over again during the war. And each day he like learned something new. Then they finally defeat the aliens in layman's term. I'm not going to try to give too much detail away, but that'd be at my number 5, and you can go check it out. I believe it's on DVD now. Probably one of the most underrated summer films of this year. So number 4 on my list, it will have to go to Miss Meadows. So it was produced and starred Katie Holmes. I believe this is Katie Holmes, one of her first films after the divorce of her and Tom Cruise. So the film overall, I thought was weird. I'm gonna hate to say it was weird, but it was like an odd film. Like I wouldn't expect her to play a role like this, but it was a great. She did a stunning performance in my opinion. So pretty much, she was pretty much. It had like a 1950s vibe. Like she even drive the old car and everything. Sort of like a Mary Poppins feel. She was like a school teacher, but she also was a vigilante, and she fell in love. It's a lot in the movie. I don't want to give too much details away, but the film overall, in my opinion, was great, and I strongly recommend it. It's a small independent film. The budget was roughly about $2 million. I believe it's shown at the Tribeca this year, so I want to leave a link to as well of that if you want to check out the trailer or anything like that. So at number 3, I'm about to go with Camp X-Ray, starring Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart, if you don't know, the girl from Twilight. So after watching this film, I would say she's developing well as an actress. So this film actually brings some type of controversial, like about Guantanamo Bay. Should it be open or should it be closed? So the film pretty much shows from like two characters. Kristen Stewart, she's an army soldier slash prison guard, and a detainee. So pretty much you see from both perspective, and actually you get a feel that maybe the detainee, the guy who's been there for, I believe he was there for locked up for 8 years, he could possibly be innocent. Bring that also to the table. But overall, the film developed like it's not necessarily a friendship, but a relationship between the guard and the detainee. So she developed this relationship with one of the detainees, and from the looks of the film, I would say they probably consulted maybe somebody from the military because the film, in my opinion, looked very authentic. Like, there's some dull moments in the film, but overall, the film is like a great film for independent. It didn't get enough recognition, in my opinion. I actually enjoyed watching the film. Um, Also, about the film, the film, in my opinion, pretty much painted a human face on Guantanamo Bay, pretty much like humanized Guantanamo Bay, like the feelings, like the emotional tone it brought between the prisoners or the detainees and the soldier. Like it make you open like whether it should be open or not, or so. I would strongly recommend you go see this film. I'm not sure. I don't believe it's on DVD yet. It's still like a small independent film. It came out not too long ago, a few months ago. But I would strongly recommend it if you see it maybe at a local theater, maybe like a small independent film, or possibly online if you can find it online. I would strongly recommend this film. At number 2 on my list, I'm gonna have to go with Predestination, starring Ethan Hawke. If you didn't know, this actually is technically an Australian production film, but they sort of like set it in America. But it's actually an Australian film, if you didn't know. So the film is pretty much based on a short story called All You Zombies. It's a short story. It's an old short story. It's pretty much based on time travel. So Ethan Hawke's character, in pretty much in layman's term, He pretty much works for an agency, and they use time travel to prevent crimes. So his mission, main mission, was to stop the Fizzle bomber who killed about, I think, 10,000 people in New York City. Um, the time travel pretty much, he had like a violin case, and he pretty much put the time in it, pretty much warped him into another time. But the film builds up to something more. If you actually watch the film, I strongly recommend it. I don't want to give too much details about it. The film had, some people say it did have a little bit of pothole, did have a tiny bit, but overall the film was enjoyable. It was a little predictable, but you can sort of like, if it made you think a little, keep me intrigued the whole time watching it. Actually, this is one of the films I probably say they did time travel pretty much well. It wasn't perfect, but they did it well enough. Most of the time when they do time travel, they have like a paradox, which most of the time contradicts the outcome. But number one, I have to go with a movie that I'm making a lot of emails about, and I actually heard this from a lot of friends from word of mouth. It's sort of like a small independent film. It's called Birdman, starring Michael Keaton. I believe Edward Norton is in there. Someone else is in there. I'm going to forget. But the film pretty much revolves around a former actor. He used to be on a big franchise, Birdman, and he's pretty much, his life has fallen off since, this is probably about 20 years after the big hit franchise. So he pretty much, he's starting to play, but the film had a great theme about it. What I pretty much like about it, it's a little weird. It's another film that's it's a little weird. Like sometimes he hear voices from Birdman, he can talk to him. Sometimes he can see him, and he like use powers like telepathy or something like that. It's like it's weird. It's a little weird, but the film overall was great. I like how they like filmed it. So they pretty much filmed it as like a continuous shot, like with great actors. So it seems like the film is like always like running like fluid. It's not like no pause or anything. So to me, the film overall is great. It's probably Michael Keaton probably best film ever, ever. Like it's probably one of the, this is probably the most slept on film probably I ever watched. It's because it's very, when it was released at very like limited theaters. So if you can find a theater locally that probably can, it may come on DVD soon or Blu Ray. I haven't personally seen it in stores, but I saw it in a small theater in Washington D.C. Very rare do you see these type of films like in a major. It haven't hit like AMC, Regal, like they may have, not in the area where I live at. But if you can find it in your local area, maybe look online to see. I strongly recommend this film. The film overall was probably one of the best performances I've ever seen from Michael Keaton, outside of Batman. But so the main theme that I pretty much got out of the film, I'm not going to go into too many details, not going to name any spoilers. The film pretty much focused on his existence. So after the star, like he's losing some of his like public relations with the crowd, with his fans and stuff like that, and pretty much trying to find himself. He feels he has no purpose, so he's looking for existence. That's why he's working on his play, and pretty much it also gives a little bit about film critics too as well. So it talks about film critics and how like the making of a play and stuff. Also, I would like for you to subscribe, comment down below whether you agree, disagree. Let me know. Also, follow me on Twitter at Josh the Movie Guy. We'll leave a link down below, also with all the links for all the trailers of the film. Also, you can email me at joshock6@gmail.com. I do reply back. If you follow me on Twitter, I do follow back. If you message me on Twitter, I try to follow back. If you comment down below, I try my best to comment. I do read every comment if you don't know that. So whether you agree, disagree, feel free. Or if you have any recommendations like films to review or movies I didn't place on the list, place your list down below too as well.